Hi guys, welcome back to Nebula Fox Toy Reviews. Today we are doing another Jurassic World review. Surprise, surprise. But today is not going to be a Jurassic World Dominion review. But it is still going to be some of the more recently released figures. We're going to be taking a look at the new Legacy Collection series. So the new Legacy Collection figures that have recently come out, at least for me. I think over in America they're on Wave 2 now. Or is it Wave 3? I don't know. Oh, Wave 2 I think. But this is going to be Wave 1 of the figures. So we have the Velociraptor. An awful lot of controversy around this figure. But yeah. Velociraptor. We also have the Pachycephalosaurus, which is cool. Mattel have released a few different Pachycephalosaurus throughout their span of releasing Jurassic World figures. I only have, including this one, I only have 2 of them. And my other one was the original Legacy Collection that they released back in 2018. Yeah, I think that's when Mattel started making figures. And the last one is brand new species, Kosmoceratops, which makes absolutely no sense because it hasn't officially, in the flesh, been in a Jurassic World film. A skeleton of it, I believe it was a skeleton, was in Fallen Kingdom in Lockwood Manor, but an actual flesh and blood dinosaur running around causing trouble has not been in any of the films. At least I think it was a skeleton. It was either a skeleton or it was one of the models in one of the glass display cases that the Indoraptor destroyed. But I think it was the skeleton. But yeah. Since this is a Legacy Collection review and not an actual Dominion figure review, I will not be opening one of the Captives eggs this time. So, no Captives eggs for this video. It is just the 3 figures that I've shown you. So let's head on over to the review table and take a closer look at these pretty cool little dinosaur figures. I'll see you over there. Okay, so here we are. Here are all the figures. And first and foremost, we shall take a quick look at the packaging on one of them. We shall start with the Kosmoceratops, I think, since this is the new species. So if I just put those 2 down on the floor. So here is the Kosmoceratops in the packaging. The packaging is the same for all 3 of them, so I'm only going to properly look at the packaging for the Kosmoceratops. But down here we have the Legacy Collection logo, name of the dinosaur, Mattels and barcodes. Got a nice picture of Rexy up here, which is the same as the one used for the generic Dominion packaging. The only difference is the fact that we have a nice sunset rather than a jeep chasing Rexy through the forest. And yeah, so it's very nice packaging from the front. On this side, it's just the Legacy logo. On this side, same again. On the back, we have a nice image of the figure. Once again, Legacy logo and all that stuff, and words and advertisements for the Fax app. I did stop using the Fax app, but I am thinking of, doing it again. Not necessarily in videos, but I am thinking of re-downloading it and doing it again. And then we have the other 2 figures from the wave. So, let's get the Kosmoceratops out of the packaging and get a closer look at it. Throw the box on the floor. So here we have the Kosmoceratops. Build-wise, it is pretty much the same as the Styracosaurus that we got before. And I think that's the only small ceratopsid figure that has one of the gimmicks. I think the Protoceratops, Zuniceratops, and Nasutoceratops babies have all been the basic figures that don't have gimmicks. So yeah. So gimmick-wise, it's the same as the Protoceratops. I mean, Not that one. Not the Protoceratops. Styracosaurus. But this figure, the head looks impressive, but just paint-wise, it does not. Let's get a closer look and investigate why. Starting off, the brow horns. Why aren't they painted white? They've painted all of the horns and spikes on the crest, or the frill. So why haven't they painted the two brow horns, or the cheek horns, or this little bump, or the beak? They could have at least painted everything on, all the other horns and stuff the same white as these, just to make them stand out a bit more. The eyes are another thing that have very disappointing paint apps, because they've literally just dotted the pupil. So they've given the black dot for the pupil, but that's it. If we get, let me just quickly pick the Pachycephalosaurus up. Oh. Pachycephalosaurus is another bad example. I'll get the Velociraptor. Velociraptor has the painted eyes with the black pupil. So it has coloured eye with the black pupil. Kosmoceratops, the eye is the same colour as the rest of the mould. But they've literally just put the black dot for the pupil. That's it. Very disappointing paint scheme on this thing. The red on the back end of the head, so basically just the frill, is really cool. The paint job on the frill is really nice. So we've got like obviously the white spines and spikes, and we've got red, like reddy orange with the white markings. So the actual frill itself is done really well. Just the rest of the face is like, ugh. For the body, it is all moulded in this green plastic, and then it's got some lighter green painted stripes on it. So that's not too bad as well. Literally, if you get rid of the face, the rest of the figure to me looks okay. But it's just the face is just disappointing. Yeah, they've put a bit of red up on the horns, but they could have still painted it all white and still put the red bleeding into it. But oh well. Apart from that, the sculpt of this figure, the actual sculpt, is really nice. Yeah, it looks like a Kosmoceratops. So the actual sculpt is really nice. For articulation, the front legs can go forward and back and also out to the side. And then the back legs can also go forward and backwards. And I think they have ever so slight outward movement. For the gimmick, so see all of the Legacy Collection figures are basically like the Savage Strikes. If you move the tail up and down, the head also moves up and down. I believe with the Styracosaurus, it was literally just upward movement like that. But the Kosmoceratops also has downward movement, which is pretty cool. And that's about it. Let me get the scan code. I believe it's quite stiff on this one from when I first got it. There we go. So yeah, Kosmoceratops does have a bit of a stiff scan code. But there you go. There is the code for the Kosmoceratops. Scan it if you want to. And yeah, really nice sculpt. Just very disappointing paint scheme for the Kosmoceratops. Up next, we shall take a look at the Pachycephalosaurus, because it's been a while since we've had a look at one of these. Packaging is exactly the same, so we'll just cut it out straight away. Now, can this one stand up? Because the original one, mine at least, refused to stand, basically. Oh, this one can stand. So that's alright. Pachycephalosaurus. I honestly like this figure. But the other versions of the Pachycephalosaurus weren't really readily available, as far as I'm aware, in the UK. Because we had the battle damaged one, which we definitely didn't get. We also had the Savage Strike, which I believe was orange. I don't think we got that one. But oh well. So yeah, I do quite like the mold of the Pachycephalosaurus. So we've got the head that looks really nice. This one is like the Kosmoceratops in the sense that they didn't paint the eyes, they just put the pupil. But because this thing has blue around the eyes, and the eye is just the grey plastic, it works because it's got the blue around it to still make the eye stand out. Whereas, like I said, the Kosmoceratops, it's just all green and makes no sense. But yeah. So the whole figure is molded in this grey, like this pale grey plastic. And we've got a little bit of an even paler grey, almost white, on the dome. And we've got blue around the eyes and the blue going down the back of the neck, going pretty much all the way down the body, which is nice. You know, it's nice that we've actually got some paint on the tail, because as we know, Mattel do not like painting their tails. It's either you get a painted tail, but not the head, or you get a painted head and not the tail. On this one, we have both, which is really nice. So I do quite like the blue that they've used for this. It's like an aqua, bluey greeny colour. So I do quite like it. Underneath, we've got this random splotch of brown. I don't get it. If anything, it should have gone all the way. Or at least just under the neck as well. It looks a bit stupid just there on the chest. But, you know, you can't really complain. I still like this figure. I don't have the original Legacy Collection Pachycephalosaurus to hand, unfortunately. It is still packed away. But it is very similar to this. If I remember, I think the actual figure itself is moulded in a more yellowy coloured plastic. And the blue markings is more blue than this greeny blue. But I don't think the markings are that different. But it's still cool. For articulation, the head, I believe, is on a ball joint. Yeah, the head is on a very slight ball joint. So it can kind of look side to side. It can do the puppy head tilt. It can't really look up and down though. The arms can go forward and back. You know, they can do a full 360. And they can also go out to the side. For the arms. The legs can also go, well, the legs can go backwards. And they can't really go forwards that much. But yeah, and for the gimmick, you push the tail down and it headbutts. Pretty much. So yeah, very simple figure. But I do like it. It's not the best balanced, so you have to have a little bit of patience with getting it to actually stand. But once it stands, once you've got it standing, once you have it standing, it stands nicely. There we go. For the scan code, we have that. So then, go ahead and pause the video and scan away in your app. And yeah, that's all I can really say about the Pachycephalosaurus. Now, for the Velociraptor. This is the one that loads of people hate. This whole wave of legacy figures is kind of weak to me, but the Velociraptor is like the weakest to everyone. But I honestly kind of like it. I wish the straps that they put on it, I do wish, you know, went a little bit further up. But apart from that, it looks alright. This is meant to be the Tiger Raptor from The Lost World. So this is the Jurassic Park 2 Raptors. We have already had a couple of renditions of the Tiger Raptor. In fact, if you give me 2 seconds, I will go and get the previous rendition of it. Okay, I'm back. So this is the previous rendition of the Tiger Raptor that we got from Mattel, which was officially one of the Savage Strike Raptors. It's the one that has the slashing claws. And this one just looks better than this one in terms of paint. I think ultimately I prefer the pose of this one because it's more upright. It feels more intimidating in terms of a raptor. But, with this one you can have it stood a bit more upright. Like that. So you can have that one stood a bit more up. But this one just has a much better paint scheme. So if I just put this back in its basic frame. Because if we look, this one has, the stripes on the head, whereas this one just has dark orange. It has more stripes on the body, and it even has some stripes on the tail. They don't go all the way to the end, but they go to about there on the tail. And we have painted toe claws. Whereas this one, I do quite like what they did with the darker colours under the stripes. But absolutely no paint on the tail whatsoever. It literally just stops dead there. And no painted claws at all. I have brought the previous rendition of this figure out. And I prefer that paint scheme. Because at least with this one, you've got this brown that goes all the way through the body. But yeah. This paint scheme looks better. But let's focus back on this one, shall we? No paint on the arms at all. But yeah, that doesn't really bother me. For some reason, a little white splotch on the chest. This one didn't have anything. This one had the white, or grey, in a way, that went the whole length of the body, starting from the bottom jaw, going all the way down to roughly about where the base of the tail starts. This one is just a little white splotch. I don't get it. I do quite like the stripes on the legs. This one did not have any stripes on the legs. So I do quite like the leg stripes on this one. I just wish these stripes went on the tail a little bit. They didn't have to go all the way to the tip. As long as they could have just gone to about here and I'd have been happy. But the eyes have been painted quite well. So the eye prints have transferred successfully. For the action feature, it's that stupid twisty thing. So the only thing I absolutely hate about this figure is the action feature. I don't get it. This one makes sense, slashing claws. This one does not. But for articulation, we have the mouth that opens and closes really wide. About there. So we've got the mouth that opens and closes. The inside of the mouth is painted really well. So it's got some lovely paint on the inside of the mouth, and the teeth have been done really well as well. The head can swivel and has the hinge as well. So this one can successfully look behind it, and it doesn't look stupid. The arms can do full 360 and can also go out to the side. The legs can also do a full 360 and can go in and out as well. The tail can be rotated, but it breaks the mold when you do it, so it looks a bit stupid. Yeah, pretty much the same as all the rotatable tails that just look absolutely pointless. Oh, another thing about the paint. You've got this dark brown with the stripes that goes pretty much the whole length of the body bit. But where it meets, where there's that joint, it stops. So there is a break in the paint for that. Why? You could easily continue the paint. It just looks stupid. But anyway, the DNA scan code. There it is for this raptor. So pause the video if you want it. But yeah, I'm one of the few people that honestly likes the sculpt and the pose that this raptor is in. I just don't like the paint. In fact, my favourite one in terms of paint for this wave is the Pachycephalosaurus. That's my favourite one. But anyway, that was my review of the Jurassic World Legacy Collection figures. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I shall see you all in the next video, whatever that'll be. Bye!